Okay. Well, hello there. This is Nancy Lohr, and I'm with Reselling into Retirement. And today I have as my guest Dave Cadoff. And just to tell you a little bit about my channel, what we're doing is interviewing people who are 55 and older, who are resellers, and who have been doing it either for a short time or for a while. And we want to hear about their successes. And along with the successes, we want to hear about their trials and tribulations too, because we know some things just ain't easy when you get over that 55 mark, right, Dave?
I'm over 55. When did that happen?
Well,
Somebody, I
Did you lie to
ran
me?
out of fingers and toes.
Did you lie to me about getting on this channel?
It's like, it's great. Yeah. It's like, well, you still, you look in the mirror and you're like, I'll share. I just turned 60 a couple of weeks ago, and you look in the mirror, you still think you're 25. And
Well, happy
I
birthday.
mean, other than overwhelming urge to hose kids off my lawn, I still feel 25. It is what it is. So yeah, it's not as easy. Well, I think Cher said something like getting older is not for the weak or something like that.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. That's for sure. And we were talking a little bit beforehand, before we started recording, just about how it's different at 55 and older. We just have a new set of not only responsibilities, but just different things that come up in our lives. For instance, learning about things like reselling or online marketing or whatever the case may be online. We think because it's different, and I fall into this trap too, because it's different than what we grew up with, that it's hard, and it's not hard. It's just we just have to retrain our brain. That's all.
Yeah, you just have to be open to change. It's okay to not know. It's okay to ask questions. And, like I tell my kids, it's just like, imagine we lived in a world where all the information that has ever been recorded electronically was available to you. And you could access it from, like, I don't know, a phone or something. You could ask your phone a question and it will find you the answer. That's crazy. That'll never happen. I know, but if it does happen, look, the answers are out there. It's like they said on the X-Files, the truth is out there. There's plenty of places to go find it. You just have to be open to listening and asking questions. It's okay. My 3 favorite words in the world are, I don't know, because then I can go find out. You can too. This isn't that hard.
It isn't. And there's so many different areas where we can find that information. I mean, back in the day, I'll say the day, we had to ask people. We had to look it in the dictionary and the encyclopedia.
Right.
There wasn't resources. I mean, you can just get on Google. You can get on. There's so many different search engines that you can get on and just have the answer, or somebody's answer.
Absolutely. You had to make an appointment with the mom Uber to take you to the library to ask another human being to look up something for you. Like, and we don't have to. It's so much better for us, and we can access that. And particularly being 55 or older, they're even more thrilled to help us out.
Yes.
And we get extra discounts.
That's right. Yeah. Don't forget your discounts.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah. It adds up. I love it. I love the whole.
Yeah, like Goodwill. It's like, I don't know, because we're resellers. I mostly schlep men's clothes, right? Anything from the waist up, I will sell. That's kind of my rule. And I love going to the Goodwill because just for walking in, I get the not dead discount, I call it. It's just like I get 20% off for not being dead. And then on Wednesdays, though, you get the double not dead discount, which is 40% off.
I don't get that.
Oh, I know.
I only get 20.
Come to Vegas.
See?
That's where it is.
Where I live.
That's where it is. And there, it just, why I bring that up, it's just like, that's an advantage that we have over younger people. It's like, we do get some sort of discount just for being old and not dead and willing to do stuff. And
we should.
And right. And we can leverage that. It's like, look, and it happens all the time when I'm in a Goodwill and there's somebody going through the t-shirt rack And I'm just snickering because it's Wednesday. I'm going to beat you, and I'm going to be able to sell it better than you because I have more margin than you,
Right.
sucker. It's like, you think this oldster is not I'm winning.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna win.
That's right. You're
So
going to win.
that's right. So look, take advantage of, we get stuff that they don't get, leverage it.
How
And
long
not
have you
just,
been reselling, Dave?
not on, well, it's just like on eBay, I got my eBay account in 1998. And just to let you know, I was in high tech at the time. I worked for a software company, an enterprise software company, and our client was eBay. So I was at an eBay conference room, and they were telling me about what they do, and this was 1998, and I signed up while I was there. And just so you know, they had the best cafeteria. That was why we did high tech, was for the food. So, but I didn't, I sold things here and there. And then I was in, I had a long career, IT support, enterprise software. I was in e-commerce consulting. I got into actually call center management through e-commerce because we were reselling things from the internet into a call center. And all that went south. This lesson, hey kids, don't work for bad people. I'm just letting you know, don't work for bad people. And that happens. And so it's like 2012, companies, I had to unwind a $80 million a year company. I was a COO. And it's going down to nothing. What am I going to do? I don't know. So a friend of mine wrote a book called Arbitrage. His name's Chris Green. And arbitrage was like going buy stuff at Walmart on clearance and selling it online. And that's where I started. Now I was sort of doing a little bit of eBay, but at that point, Amazon FBA was the thing to do. You could buy stuff and ship it in. Amazon took care of the customer service because I didn't want to do the customer service. I just wanted to let them do it. And then in 2014, Chris wrote another book, Online Arbitrage, and I'm like, hey, that's a great idea. Let's buy online and ship it right to Amazon. And it was great. And that worked out for years and years and years until Jeff Bezos decided he needed to build these naughty shaped rocket ships, and all their fees went crazy and gated, and it just got harder and harder to sell in their marketplace. I still do it. It's just harder. And then I don't know, a few months ago, 6-8 months ago, I took a look at eBay again, and hands down, kids, anybody, when I say kids, that means anybody 59 and younger. It hands down the best platform to start on, hands down, the best cash flow, the best data, and they share that data with you. That this is the place to start. So I've lucky enough to find Nancy and others on Reseller Nirvana, and I joined that group. And again, we don't get any kind of affiliate thing for this. This is just like the best group
No,
to go
right.
to. And you learn anything from the smartest people in the world that are doing this. And it's just fantastic. So if you're older and you don't think you can do it, first of all, you're crazy. You absolutely can't. First of all, you lived this long. That's an accomplishment in itself. You didn't cross the street and look the wrong way. There's so many things you didn't do wrong. You did all right to get to this age. You can learn this. It honestly isn't that hard. It is work, but it's not hard. It's not hard work. It's just work. And there's plenty of resource for you to do it. And even old dog like me can learn I learned the new trick on eBay. And honestly, that's where I wish I had did eBay back in 2012 along with Amazon instead of waiting until 10 years later.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's work, but it's not hard. And I think people they confuse the difference between the two. And I like to work. I like to keep busy. And that's another thing. I mean, as you know, the older that you get, and then I've realized because retirement in my mind was never like, I'm going to sit in front of the TV in an easy chair because as I've said in some of my previous interviews, the people that I know that did that after working, 60 to and plus hours a week ended up retiring and passing away in 6 months.
Absolutely.
It just happened all the time, too much for
Yeah.
me to not notice. And I thought to myself, I said, self, I am I'm I am never going to get to that point. I am always going to stay active, doing something and have money coming in because I have a background in sales and marketing, and I like that hustle.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I think I like that better than the money.
Yeah. Well, that's all, you know, that's all true. That's like it keeps you active, keeps your brain
Yes.
going. But beyond that, in addition, like when people talk about retiring, the problem is so many people didn't plan for it. Because, it was going to happen later on, and we were told we would have pensions, and we talked about this flying cars and jetpacks, and we didn't get any of them. None of the
Oh, where's
three.
my jetpack?
That's right. It's like, come on. You can keep the jetpack and the flying cars. Can I get a pension? It's like, no, you can't get a pension. All that stuff that we were told when we were younger didn't happen. So people didn't actually plan very well for it. So the problem with retiring is that there's really the main way people are told to retire is start young. I can't do that. I could have, I didn't. So what you were supposed to start young and put the money away and it would compound. Well, the thing about compounding is the money doesn't really compound until the end. Well, even if I started today, I'm not living to be 100. I'm
Mhm.
not, I don't have 40 years of
Right.
compounding left in me. The universe is going to forcibly retire me long before then. So it's like so what do you do? So you've got to, at our age, we have to live. You can't rely on just Social Security. You don't have a pension. You may or may not have a 401k or an IRA. Many people do not because they needed to use it when the economy went south in 2008 or when COVID hit. Well, what do we do now? You have to create multiple streams of income, which is the number one thing that people, I think we all screwed up on. Everybody had a stream of income, their job. That was it.
Mhm.
You lose your job, and believe me, once you're in your 50s, they're coming for you.
Yes,
You're eventually gonna,
that's right.
somebody younger at half the price
Oh
is
yeah.
gonna take your
Half the
job.
age, half the price.
It's gonna happen.
You
So
bet.
you need to be prepared with multiple streams of income that produce cash for you. And not only so eBay, and again, I don't get anything from eBay for saying this. eBay doesn't just produce cash flow, it produces what I call fast flow. You get
Mhm.
the money quick,
You
quicker than
do.
anything else. I've
Yes.
been doing print on demand since 2017, and all those print on demand companies, like if I sold something today, today's the 17th, let's say it shipped on November 1st, I would get paid for it on December 31st.
Mhm.
That's a long time to wait for
Yeah.
your money. That's crazy talk. What are
Yeah.
they doing with the money? Building spaceships?
Right.
Probably. But
Probably.
but eBay gives you the money like right away, even before you ship it sometimes. It's fantastic. It's fast flow. And that's what folks our age need. We need cash flow that's fast. And then you should never have, if you do it right, basically listen to Tech and Sports, do exactly what he tells you to do, and you will build up a cash flow that you can continually do what I would call, what Jim Collins, he wrote a book called Good to Great, is a flywheel. Do you know what a flywheel is? It's, for those who don't know, it's a battery, kind of. It's not electric, it's mechanical. So it stores energy. And that's what you want to build, is a flywheel, by putting listings in it, by getting cash quickly and buying more stuff that you can make listings and build up the potential energy of your store. And as it spins back, it's spitting out money. And you
Mhm.
want to do that in as many ways as possible. And there's more than just eBay, but if you're going to start someplace, that's where I'd start.
Yes, very, very good points. And that's something that I call my word for it is feeding the beast,
Yeah.
where it's just constantly. I mean, product out. You want to keep feeding that beast. You want to build that algorithm, they call it. That's one of those terms that, that term didn't exist many years ago, algorithm, where you're putting things in there and they're the same type of things. Or if you have, best thing to do is to have some kind of a niche, where eBay says, oh, she's selling a lot of jeans. I'm going to send the traffic, the eyeballs to her site that are looking for jeans. So, it's just learning how that all works. And it's not that hard. It's different, but it's not hard.
Right. And there's a lot more information about it out there than people think. I know people say, oh, it's opaque, we know nothing about it. We do. eBay even publishes things. Well, first of all, eBay has like almost 900 patents. No, I'm sorry, almost 10,000 patents. And a patent, you have to kind of explain your process. They don't give you the code, but they tell you what it does. So there's a lot of information out there, and there's even technical information that they publish right on their site about how their algorithms work. And again, because I'm from high tech, and that was my field of study, was computer science. It's like, it's not an algorithm, it's a collection of algorithms that do lots of different things. Like putting things into a database is one algorithm, retrieving things is another, ranking things is another. And they have little teams of engineers that do all this stuff. Now, they're all mole people with giant eyes and Cheeto stained fingers, but they do, that's their job. They get literal PhDs in all these different chunks of the process. So now, it's just the whole process. And they tell us stuff about what is important to them, so you can build listings that will then attract human interaction. And then the machine learning algorithms, which layer on top of the databases, will surface your items and put them out to people. And then it's a matter of probability. Will they buy it or not? So I know that was tech talk. Sorry about that. I almost did math. That would have been bad, very bad. But, it is what it is.
Well, it sounds like you're one of those people that you're very good at technical things, and you also have, and usually people that are really good, they're really techie and they're really good. Not everybody, but, and see, this is just kind of how my brain classifies things sometimes, is that most of those people are not very outgoing, or they're more, they're not what's the word that I'm looking for? You've got
Extroverted.
Introverts.
Yeah, I'm an introvert, actually. I'm extroverted in business, but internally, like after you hang up, I'm going to need to take a nap because I'm going to have.
See, I used to be an extrovert. Before 2020, I was all over the place, and then it did something to me. It did something, and maybe it has to do with my age too, or something happened there.
It's not, and it's not even being introverted or extroverted is a function of how you communicate and how you get the info. But what would happen to a lot of engineers, they're very, very one side of their brain, whether it's left or I think it's left brain. And they'll start talking and you'll say, so how do you learn to rank? How does learning to rank work? Or what's a gradient boosted tree? And they'll go, well, and then it'll sound like they'll start talking. And before you know it, it'll sound like dolphins clicking to you. It'll be like, what you do is, what did they just say? And I was always good at like tech to dolphin to business talk and going back and forth to people, because it's really not that difficult to understand. It's just they get into the weeds right away and they're trying to tell you how they do it. It's like, yeah, no one cares.
Oh,
again, no one cares.
yes.
But they do want to know how it works, but they don't want to know the math. They don't.
Right.
Don't.
Yeah, right. Exactly. If they say how it works, you're supposed to say real good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now
Right?
give me Cheetos.
That's all people really care about. Yes, it works. It works really good. They don't want to know the intricacies and
That's right. It works. It's like I always said to business people, it's like, I don't know how a carburetor works, but I drive my car. Doesn't bother me. I don't.
There you go.
I don't know what it does, but I know it works. So I'm good.
Yeah.
It gets me from point A to point B, and that's what these algorithms do. It's just, and you can understand, I promise people they can understand this and build yourself better listings to attract, again, the algorithm, because between me, the customer is eBay and all their algorithms.
Mhm.
And you've got to get through that barrier first. And then somebody can see your stuff. And then hopefully you've bought something that people like, priced at a good price, described well, and boom, you're in business.
That's right. And one of the most important things is selling something you like. And now I'm going to back that up a little bit, just because I said the word sell.
Oh,
And some people, I don't want to be sold. I don't want anybody selling me anything. I don't want to sell anything to anybody. But, the truth of the matter is, if you're married, you sold somebody, you sold your spouse
that's right. If
a
you
whole
ever went on a
package.
date, if you
Nothing
ever
wrong
went
with
on a
that.
date, you sold something. If you got your kid to clean up their room, you sold them
You
something.
sold
It's just like,
something.
it's not that hard. It's like, it's just talking to people. That's really
It's
what it
it,
is.
it's not a swear word. It's people call it the S word, selling, and I experienced that a lot in my career, just because I was in sales and marketing. People are like, don't be selling me. I don't want to be sold. And it's like, what? We're just having a conversation. We're just talking about, you came to me, you're interested in something, and I'm giving you information, and we're just talking real nice here. What do you mean
That's
you don't want
right.
to be sold? You came through that door. I
That's
don't
right.
get it.
I mean, yeah. So it's, again, it's like, it's okay. It's okay to sell. Give yourself permission
You
to
can
tell
say no.
people. Yeah, that's right. You're not forcing them. We're the thing about e-commerce is, one of the things that people don't get through their head. It's not real time. It's asynchronous. You put stuff in, somebody might not see it for months.
That's right.
Months and months. It's not, you're not twisting anybody's arm.
Right.
They're volunteer, they're opting in, they're self-selecting in. Let them.
I do know that for people that do have a problem with selling or being sold, or whatever the case may be, once they do this, once they get their first few listings, and all of a sudden they hear the cha-ching on their phone,
Yeah,
those first few cha-chings, they're in. They
that's
are
it.
they are sold.
Yeah, yeah. I got money for that.
Yeah,
Wait, I got more money than I spent for that. Even better. This is awesome.
that's
Yeah,
how it
it's
works.
yeah, it's uh, that feeding your own beast, right?
Yes, it's
Making
the
yourself feel good.
gratification of, it worked just like they told me how it would work, and it's confirmation that the system works,
Right.
and it works very well, but you have to put in the right information in order for it to work. You have to, like Dave was saying, your listings have to be a certain way, your pictures need to be a certain way, all the information, so that somebody can make an educated decision if they want to buy it or not. And you have to price it correctly.
And eBay tells you can download a report, and they'll tell you, a listing quality report, about how good you are compared to your peers. If you're better or worse, and you
Right.
can make imagine, they actually share data. Amazon can share anything. Amazon's attitude is, they're our customers.
Mhm.
I'm going to build a rocket ship. They're our customers.
Right.
eBay is like, they're your customers too.
That's right.
And we'll share information so that you can market to our customers.
Mhm.
It's fancy. It's really the lowest bar of entry of almost any, and I've done a lot of stuff. Like, I do print on demand, as I mentioned. So I do t-shirts and stickers and mugs. I even do jewelry.
Mhm.
And there's like Amazon and Redbubble and Shine On. None of them are as honestly as easy to get into as eBay, and have the fast cash flow as eBay.
You can
It's,
get paid every day if you want.
if you want to.
That blew my mind when I
Crazy.
learned that.
Imagine that. Imagine if again. It's like, I
Get
say
your
that
money.
a
You
lot.
may as well get your
Imagine
money.
that. That's like crazy. You mean you can transfer money electronically now? How did that happen? When did that happen? Like my dad still has to go to the bank to get
Oh,
cash.
I know. I have a lot of friends that still do that.
It's like I haven't had cash in my wallet in like 5 years. It's like it's comforting. I get it, but
Mhm.
like it's an eBay understands that you need the cash to buy more stuff so that
Mhm.
you can keep making listings
That's
to
right.
sell to people or
Feeding the
for people.
beast.
That's it. And they get it. Amazon, they're like, whatever. Sorry, Amazon, I love you. It's not as much as eBay. eBay's my main squeeze now. Sorry, it's the way it is.
Yeah. Well,
So I'm sure Jeff Bezos is unhappy and he's like, heaven
traitor.
traitor.
Well, there's so many different platforms, like David mentioned, that you can be selling your products on. And I think it depends on what it is you want to sell. I mean, maybe you like books. I love books and I sell books on Amazon.
That's the place to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
$1 million. Yeah, that's the place to do it. It's like, you know what I do a lot? I do local flipping where I'll buy stuff off Nextdoor. If you're not on the Nextdoor app and you're our age, get on it because plenty of other complainers and people.
Unless you don't have somebody that lives next door to you, like me.
That's true. If
I don't
you're
have anybody next
boonies.
door.
But so on that app, I find a lot of stuff that like I bought a printer new in box for $10. And then I turned around and I sold it on Facebook Marketplace for 70. This is, you can make cash.
Yes.
It's not terribly hard. It's just work. You just have to work. So, that's another avenue for people. You need cash coming in, and there are certainly easy, low barrier of entry vehicles to go and try to find that cash. And again, I've said it already too many times. eBay's probably the easiest thing to start. And join our group. Come say hi.
Yes.
And you'll learn a million things. You'll
Yes.
be like, oh, I can do this. If
Right.
Cadoff can do it, I can do it.
What blew my mind is when I did discover Reseller Nirvana, and I discovered Chris initially because he had YouTube videos, which I never watched YouTube, but I watched him. Go figure. But he talked about organization, because when you start to buy items, you want to make sure that they're organized properly so that when somebody does buy them, you can find them. Okay. I had a mishmash of items everywhere in my house, and eBay, that's one thing. They will not look on you very favorably if you lose an item
Yes.
and you can't ship it. The customer experience is number one. It is first and foremost number one. And if that customer experience is a poor one, eBay will not forgive you very easily.
Yeah.
So long story short, my status in eBay fell to a painful level. And watching Chris and his inventory of product, it was like nothing I've ever seen. And he was so transparent, showing you exactly what he did. And I've never seen anything. I've never seen a guru, so to speak, that was so transparent. Same with Tech and Sports, so transparent with their processes and what they do and how they make the money, and and what they do on a daily basis, down to the very little itty bitty procedure. It was unbelievable. So I mean, I joined their group, and I haven't looked back since. I didn't even think I was going to sell clothes. Here I am selling clothes and books.
Yeah, I mean, they don't hold anything back. And what I like, you should be proud of yourself that you did the work and that you improved yourself, but you improved your store again, and eBay rewarded you for it. Like Amazon, if you lose the buy box, you might never get it back in that category again, ever. They'll never forgive you. And there are other platforms like that. And eBay doesn't do that. They let you know, and they warn you because 30 days in advance whether you're going to go down or up.
And they're
And
very fair about,
yeah, they,
they give you a lot of chances. However, when
mm,
you've run out of chances, you can get the status back. It's just that you have to wait a while.
yeah, no, it's true, but you can get there. There's a lot of stories like yours about people, particularly at the beginning, who didn't think something was important, or it's like, "Oh, I'll get it to
Or
the."
got bad information. That's another thing. There's a lot of bad
Yeah.
information out there.
Oh my gosh, so much. Well, most of the I watch YouTube a lot. Well, now that I'm over 60, or 60 and over, I call it the YouTube. You know how you have to put the in front of everything?
Yeah.
Google, right? The
Right.
Alexa. The Alexa. I hope she doesn't say anything to me now.
No, you can't say that around our house. Actually,
Yes.
we have another name for her, and it starts with a B.
So yeah, so on the YouTube, it's basically pickers, and people are just like showing you how to, and they're only showing you the wins. They're not showing you the
Right.
15 no's that they went through, or the overpriced stuff. It's just like they're showing you the wins. It's like,
Mhm.
the thing is, I didn't want it. I knew how to go to a flea market, but what I didn't know is what to pick up and why to pick it up, and then how to get it in my inventory so that I could find it, and then how to list it, and then how to ship it. It just all, and it was overwhelming. I will say that at the very first month, I was like, do I really want to do it?
Right.
And
Yes.
then you just start asking questions, and it's hard to find that information other places. I'm sure they exist. I just happen to find this one, and all the information that I would ever need plus is there. And I was lucky that I went right to top rated like within 3 months. And it was just because I wasn't smarter than other people. That's another thing. Don't do this. Don't be like, I can make it faster.
Oh,
Ah,
no reinventing the wheel. I mean,
that's
that's
right. It's just like, it's a wheel. It's already round. Just use it.
yes.
You don't need to try to make tech and sports better. Just do exactly what it says to do. And then if you can't, then try something else. There's plenty of other people to learn from. Chris, like I can't do flat lays. That's too low for me.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, that whole,
But
getting older thing.
would I like to do a flat? If I could, I mean, I would build myself a table that was higher. And I'm like, yeah, Dave, you're not good with your hands unless you're eating with them. So building that table isn't going to happen. So what else can you do? It's like, Chris has that contraption. I call it a contraption because, again, not good with my hands. But you know what I used? I used an aero bed. That's it.
Describe what a flat lay is for people who don't
Oh,
know.
it's just a flat lay means taking pictures on the floor. Just
Yes.
taking a shirt, laying it, or pants, or a sweater, or any piece of clothing, and laying it on the floor and taking pictures of it.
Mhm.
And I just can't.
Yeah, I do
I
the
couldn't.
vertical
Can
flat
I
lay.
do one? Sure. Can I do 5? Yeah. Can I do 15? Can I do 30 a day? No. No, I'd need it. I'd need 4 naps. So no. So it just, for me. So another thing I tell my kids is, no plan survives its collision with reality. So tech gave me, and the reselling and running gave me a plan, and then reality said, there's another, it was like, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans,
Right.
"Look,
Oh, yeah.
you're going to do 30 a day." Like, I can do 30 a day, but not flat lay, but I can on the vertical tilt kind of thing that I got. And it's, you can figure it out. It's just, this is, again, it's not rocket science.
Nope, it's
But
not. You just have to do things a little differently, and some people are just embedded in their lifestyles and really, I mean, we all sometimes buck against new information. I do too. It's like, "Oh, I gotta do that. Oh, I can't do that." And, but then I take myself aside and have a talk with myself. It's like, "Okay, come on. You can do this. Other people are doing it. It's not the end of the world." But I think that's the rut we get into sometimes. Doesn't matter how old you are, sometimes it's, but, I do find that as I'm getting older, the whole
you
older thing.
ever, yeah. Do you ever see like the Simpsons movie? Do you remember that? Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't, yeah, so you remember the part where Bart is tied up to a pole and he's
Yeah.
naked and he's tells Homer comes over and he goes, "Worst day of my life." And Homer goes, "So far."
Yeah, that's right.
And so I use that on my kids and other people. It's just like you can always add, like, I can't do that yet.
Mhm.
I can't do that yet.
Yet.
You could do it. You just
Good
haven't done
information.
it yet.
Yep, you're right.
Let's give it a shot.
Yep.
Or I've never done that so far. You might do it, but so far you haven't. It's just like you can, with a couple of words, flip your attitude and get yourself in a headspace where it's like, yeah, what's the worst case scenario? You didn't do it. It just didn't work. Flatly
Right.
didn't work. Or
That's right.
something.
So we're gonna we've got about 5 more minutes, and what information would you give in closing to people who are thinking about reselling, or maybe they don't know where to start, or just what their next step would be? What advice would you give to them?
Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Don't be afraid of it. It's just like you won't sell anything. Well, you're right where you started, so don't be afraid. And then what would uh, uh, tech and sports say is seek the knowledge. I'm like I turn things into Latin all the time, so it'd be like query scientium. Sounds better when you say it in Latin. Everything sounds better in Latin.
Mhm.
Sounds official, but it just means seek the knowledge.
Yeah.
And just go seek the knowledge. You're not the first person to do this. There's millions of people that do it. So don't be afraid of it. Go seek the knowledge and then do it. Try it. It's not, nobody's going to come and arrest you and put you in jail because you made a bad listing.
Mhm.
It's just try it. Just try it.
That's right.
That honestly, and it doesn't have to be Reseller Nirvana. There's a lot of, but go to people that have shown that they've done it before.
Mhm.
Not somebody, I see a lot of YouTubers that were like, well, I've been doing this since July. Like, really? July of
That
this
long?
year? That long? Oh my goodness, you're an expert. Dunning-Kruger effect. We talked about that earlier before the call. It's just like people think they're smarter than they really are. It's like, no, I want somebody who's more believable than that. Somebody who's been like Sarah Stiles. I think she's brilliant.
Mhm.
She does a lot of data related. Like she looks at her numbers and she shares them. I mean, there's a lot of smart people out there that are doing this. Follow believable people. Find people that are smarter than you and are believable and kind of do what they say. And then you can make it, you can always make it better.
Yes.
But try it, do what they tell you to do. And then when it doesn't work, try to make it better.
And that's what a lot of this is. A lot of this is going to a procedure and applying it. And if it doesn't work, or just find out, make sure you're doing it right. It's just like anything else. I mean, if you're, um, I don't know, making a recipe, sometimes there's an ingredient that, you think it would be better with,
That's
sometimes.
a great analogy. It's just like you can follow a recipe, right? If you can do this.
Right.
There are recipes
That's all
for
this
this.
is a recipe.
And you can say, you know what, it needs more salt. Right, you can do that, but
Yes,
try to do it a little bit
that's
first.
right.
And just do it.
Thank
And
you.
the
You're
only
right.
thing I'd end with is your very first video had Carl Hellman on it, and
Yes.
Carl's fantastic. But he said at the end of his video that you set a really low bar with him.
Oh, yeah.
And I would like people to put in the comments, my goal was to limbo underneath that bar that you set with him. So,
Limbo lower now.
that's right. How low can you go? Did I do it? Did we manage to go below the bar that Carl set? I certainly hope so.
Well, I think you had excellent information, and thank you so much for being my guest today. I
Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
having
And
me.
if anybody who's watching has any questions, comments, criticism, compliments, just leave them in the comments section below, and please smash that like button because I'll take all the likes I can get at this point. But I appreciate you watching today. And again, thanks, Dave, for being my guest. And we'll see you on the flip side.
Bye,
Yeah.
kids. Have fun.
Bye-bye.